Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif has triggered fresh controversy after making a strong statement suggesting that Pakistan could go to war with India over water security, and his remarks come at a time when Pakistan is already facing serious internal instability and a worsening domestic water crisis, widely attributed by experts to poor governance and long-standing mismanagement of the resources. Well, Asif said that water is a core component of national security and warned that Pakistan would consider military action if it believed India was threatening its water supplies. He stated that the moment we feel that our national security and water is part of our national security is being threatened, we will go to the war against India. Definitely. He further added that if Islamabad observed India acting at an alarming speed to disrupt water flows, military options would not be ruled out. And all these comments come against the backdrop of India's firm decision to keep the 1960 Indus Waters Treaty in suspension following the April 2025 terror attack in Pahalgam, in which 26 civilians were killed. India has maintained that the treaty will remain suspended until Pakistan takes credible and verifiable action against terrorist infrastructure operating from its soil. New Delhi has repeatedly stated that normal water cooperation cannot resume while cross-border terrorism continues. The Indus Waters Treaty, brokered by the World Bank, historically allowed Pakistan access to around 80% of the Indus River system for irrigation and agricultural use. However, despite all these provisions, Pakistan is now facing a severe water shortage crisis that has exposed deep structural weaknesses in its water management system. Khwaja Asif attempted to shift blame towards India, accusing New Delhi of weaponizing water and manipulating river flows, particularly the Chenab River, which also alleging data withholding. However, his claims were weakened after he admitted that he did not have updated information regarding developments over the past year, despite earlier assertions that Pakistani teams had conducted extensive inspections. Meanwhile, Pakistan's internal water crisis continues to deepen. Nearly one-third of the population is reportedly affected, particularly in the provinces of Sindh and Balochistan, where agriculture and daily water supply systems are under severe strain. Official data from the Sindh Irrigation Department highlights major failures in infrastructure, with key canals recording significant shortages. The Northwest Canal is facing a deficit of over 64%, while the Rice and Dadu canals are experiencing shortage of 38% and 82% respectively. Water levels at the critical Sakar barrage have also dropped sharply, raising concerns among local leaders about agricultural losses and wider economic damage. Experts and regional officials have warned that the crisis is being driven more by poor internal distribution, outdated infrastructure, and unresolved inter-provincial disputes rather than external factors alone. And despite this, political rhetoric has increasingly focused on India. Analysts note that shifting blame has become a recurring theme, even as Pakistan's own water governance challenges remain unaddressed. India, meanwhile, has maintained a firm position that any reconsideration of the Indus Waters Treaty will depend on concrete action by Pakistan against terrorism. Officials in New Delhi have reiterated that the suspension of the agreement is directly linked to the security concerns arising from continued cross-border militant activity. And as the tensions rise in rhetoric, the gap between political statements and ground realities on water management in Pakistan continues to widen. While Islamabad warns of extreme measures, its internal water crisis, driven by systematic inefficiencies and infrastructure collapse, remains unresolved. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.